There's all us humans on Earth battling it out. And then above that, we've got heaven.
The Merovingian was born as part of the Matrix system, possibly assisting the robots during the machine war. Like Neo, the program was born with a purpose, but something happened that changed him. Towards the end of the first beta Matrix, something led him into becoming an entity that fought against the system. We know this because the Merovingian was the one who helped programs like Seraph, who was an agent of the Paradise Matrix, to escape. The Frenchman became the liberator of the exiled programs. Like Neo, who helped the potentials to awaken to the real world, the Merovingian helped programs to escape into the Matrix. They were both heroes to their respective groups. But also like Neo, the Merovingian was being controlled. The Merovingian would later reach an agreement with Persephone. He rescues her and then takes her as his wife. We can see the similarities between the two couples. The Merovingian's relationship with Persephone could have been similar to Neo and Trinity's. The two programs may have worked together to save exiled programs from deletion. The Merovingian possibly thought that he found his purpose in being an enemy of the system just like Neo did, but he changed into a selfish and cruel person.
I am so sick and tired of his bullshit. On and on. Pompous prick.
The Frenchman now cheats on his wife constantly and was no longer altruistic or empathetic. He became an opportunist when helping the programs. So what could have caused this change in the Merovingian? The Merovingian may have realized that he, like the exiles, was meant to fulfill a purpose that was designed by the architect and the oracle. Many of you have asked us why the architect allows the Frenchman's existence to continue in the Matrix. The answer is simple. He and the other exiled programs still serve a necessary purpose within the simulation. Seraph, for example, was supposed to be deleted after the Paradise Matrix failed, yet the Merovingian helped him to escape to the next simulation. Seraph now serves as the protector of the mother of the Matrix. Therefore, for Seraph's purpose to be renewed, he had to meet the Merovingian. The Merovingian was unknowingly contributing to the stability of the Matrix. He could not escape cause and effect, and perhaps this is what changed him, losing his purpose and becoming lost, realizing that he doesn't make decisions. He was part of the cause and effect of the Matrix. The Frenchman then knew that he was being used and controlled by the mother and father of the simulation, and now he wished to break them.
Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
The exiled program was awakened and could see the strings that controlled him. This is why he wants to destroy the Oracle. He is the anti-Neo, an evil program that wants to destroy the system that used him, taking advantage of those weaker than him and using them to his advantage. Regardless, the Merovingian cannot escape the clutches of the Oracle, because although he believed that he had finally destroyed her, it was still part of the Oracle's plan. She sacrificed her shell so that the Merovingian would help Sati to enter the Matrix. Another parallelism found between Neo and the Merovingian is the loss of love. Neo's love that he had for Trinity was real, but the architect said that he was programmed to feel love. The Merovingian did try to explain to Neo how easy it is to invoke or encode emotions through something as innocuous as food. He also might have known that the supposed love that he felt for Persephone was also part of cause and effect, which makes the stories of the one and the Frenchman even more similar and somewhat tragic. They were both used and controlled. They were programmed to feel love, to serve as a means to an end. Every prop and/or decoration used in the films is not picked at random. Everything has a story or purpose behind it. It's this attention to detail that makes The Matrix a masterpiece of cinema. It's visual storytelling at its finest. Many important details about the characters and story can be learned just by looking at the environment, cleverly designed and created by the Wachowskis and the set designers. Now let's listen to what it is said about the Merovingian's chateau.
Statues, you'll notice that they're all the same person, and those are all the images of the Merovingian. they're all his own likeness, or they're identical. So that's another sign of his egomaniacal control. No Venuses, no Mars, it's all him.
Egotism is a big part of who the Merovingian is. He surrounds himself with pieces of art that reminds him of himself. As one of the designers pointed out, all the statues are of him. The decorative pieces inside the chateau represents the Merovingian's ego, but they can also represent his multiple past identities. Porcelain statues of his former selves from previous matrices.
Chateau Aubryon, 1959. Magnificent wine. I love French wine.
The Merovingian adopted the French language. It isn't part of his personality, but rather, it is a preference. He is also known as the Frenchman, but who knows what other nicknames he's had in the past. Nicknames or identities of someone with great influence in the Matrix. But the most important detail about the Merovingian comes from a mural.
This mural is a symbol of the Matrix, but in sort of a Renaissance or medieval theme. This is medieval times, and there's the rest of us. This is all us humans on Earth battling it out. And then above that, we've got heaven with the angels. But the angels aren't really just angels. The angels are actually manipulating what's going on Earth.
This description of the angels is quite interesting. That the angels aren't just angels, they are manipulating what is happening on Earth, resulting in the humans fighting each other, meaning that these supposed angels are the instigators and perpetuators of war.
And who's at the center of heaven but Merv himself? So it's all about him. Again, he's controlling everything that's going on in heaven and everything that's happening on Earth.
This is a big revelation because she revealed that the Merovingian is controlling what happens in heaven and Earth, a symbolism that perhaps hides what happened in the Matrix.
So this is another analogy for the Matrix, where we all think that we're in control of what's going on here on Earth, but actually there's a whole other system in place where we're being manipulated.
There is much to analyze from this short explanation of this very important mural and the history it represents. First are the angels. They symbolize the machines. Heaven represents the city of machines, 01. We know this because this city has always been described as a peaceful and prosperous land, a heaven on earth for the machines. We also believe that the angels are an allegory to the machines because of how they and Machine City are seen by Neo in Matrix Revolutions. They are made of a bright golden code, symbolic of heavenly beings, like angels. A constant within the Matrix that may indicate that these machines have transcended human thought. Now, the most shocking thing about this mural is that it tells that the Merovingian controls everything. Heaven, the angels, but also controls or causes the happenings on Earth. In the Matrix sequels, we learned how the Merovingian gained his power by increasing the number of exiles under his command, and of how he hates the Oracle. He tried to warn Neo about the control the Oracle had over him. The Merovingian is never shown in the films as someone who controls what happens to the machines or humans. However, this mural could point to the Frenchman's original purpose. If the heaven in this painting is an allegory of City 01 and the angels are the machines, then perhaps this mural is an artistic representation of the First War. Remember that the Oracle speaks of the Merovingian as one of the oldest of the programs.
The Keymaker.
Yes, he disappeared some time ago. We did not know what happened to him until now. He's being held prisoner by a very dangerous program. One of the oldest of us. He is called the Merovingian.
Although this painting may not be depicting events of the past, but of the future, perhaps it foreshadows the plot of Matrix 4 or even 5. The Merovingian will control and manipulate these angels, as in the machines and programs, creating a new war between them and the humans. In Matrix Online, the Merovingian did cause chaos between the machines and humans in an attempt to destroy the truce. So the mural may indeed describe the Merovingian's plans to take control of the Matrix and reign all-out anarchy. Either explanation is plausible. However, we are leaning towards the mural representing the events of the past. For us, the Merovingian was the leader program of City 01 before the war against the humans began. He controlled everything in the city and understood the threat humanity posed. But the painting does not show a fight between angels and machines, but rather a battle between humans themselves, instigated by the Merovingian, meaning that the story of the Animatrix is not entirely accurate. It is possible that humanity was weakened and the world destroyed by a war influenced by the Merovingian. The fact that the Frenchman believes solely in causality could be the reason why the machines won the war. He was able to predict future outcomes and provoke a human civil war to manipulate and control them. As the crew lady said, humans think that they are in control, but there is another system in place to manipulate them. This is the first time that the Merovingian has ever been mentioned being a part of this system of control. Not only was he a part of it, but he may have also been the one pulling the strings. We first meet the twins in Matrix Reloaded. These henchmen of the Merovingian were ordered to retrieve the Keymaker after Neo and the others freed him from the Frenchman's chateau. The twins are programs that originated from the second version of the Matrix, the Nightmare Matrix, a grim simulation that consisted of nightmarish creatures and humanity's deepest fears. It is believed that the twins were actually the agents of that version of the Matrix. Remember that the agents are programs created to protect the illusion of the simulation and eliminate anyone who threatens it. The twins were powerful agents, but were corrupted by a virus. Remember that the Nightmare Matrix was a failure, a disaster just like its previous version, the Paradise Matrix, in which thousands of humans died. And so for the architect, the twins contributed to its failure. When the time came to delete Nightmare and restart the simulation, the Merovingian gave the twins the opportunity to live, to join his League of Exiles and work for him. The twins, alongside other nightmare programs, including the werewolves Cain and Abel, joined the Frenchman. The Merovingian used his ability to modify the twins' code, but that virus somehow morphed the code of these former agents. When the Merovingian brought the twins to the new simulation, their behavior had changed. They were quieter, more tranquil, and fully responsive to the Frenchman's orders. This could have been the result of the Merovingian changing their code to make them obedient and dependent on him, making it easier for the Frenchman to control them. This change did not affect their skills, however. The twins' weapon of choice was the knife, and they were very good at hand-to-hand combat. When the upgraded agents joined the pursuit of Morpheus and Trinity, they did not hesitate in attacking the twins as well. They were exiled programs and were marked for deletion. The twins have the ability to transform into non-corporeal entities, something similar to ghosts. In this state, they cannot be hurt, nor can they hurt others. If they are hurt in their physical form, they just turn into ghosts and are healed. While in ghost form, they can pass through physical barriers. This ability is an advantage and a disadvantage, as Morpheus managed to exploit it. They also have super speed. During the highway chase, the twins were blown away in an ensuing explosion, and their codes were nearly destroyed. The Merovingian found a way to detect traces of the codes of his faithful servants. According to the Matrix Online Archives book, the twins' codes were floating near the terrestrial atmosphere, completely out of reach. That is until the Merovingian's minions searched for the remnants of the twins and put them back together again. The Frenchman needs his henchmen, because as far as we know, he does not fight or can defend himself. He did run away from Neo once. All that we know for sure is that he has an operating system capable of modifying the Matrix and the programs, but we don't know if he can go on the offensive, so it is likely that we will see the ghastly twins return. Officially, the actors who played the twins in Matrix Reloaded are not confirmed for the film, but that doesn't mean that we won't see them at all. The Oracle found a new shell after being destroyed by the Merovingian. Smith used a human's body to escape to the real world, so it is possible that the twins could return with a different appearance after being rebuilt and reprogrammed by the Merovingian. We first hear about the Merovingian thanks to the Oracle. She sets Neo on his path to the source, the machine mainframe, where the purpose of the One meets its end. But to get there, he needs the program named the Keymaker, who is being held by the Merovingian.
You can save Zion if you reach the source, but to do that you will need the Keymaker.
The Keymaker?
Yes, he disappeared some time ago. We did not know what happened to him until now. He's being held prisoner by a very dangerous program. One of the oldest of us, he is called the Merovingian.
For the Oracle, the Merovingian's goal is clear: to amass as much power as possible.
What does he want?
What do all men with power want? More power.
Interestingly enough, the Oracle refers to the Merovingian as a man with power, with a desire for more power, a program driven by human emotions such as greed and gluttony. The Merovingian may have been corrupted by humanity. He wouldn't be the only program influenced by human behavior. Look at Agent Smith, for example. The Frenchman is one of the oldest programs in the Matrix. It is believed that his origins date back to the Paradise Matrix, as it was he who helped Seraph become an exile. As we've mentioned many times before, it is unknown how many versions of the Matrix have existed. We only know of the 6 versions after the integration of choice and the manifestation of the anomaly, and the 2 before the integration, Paradise and Nightmare. There could have been hundreds or maybe thousands of pre-Paradise simulations. Any one of those could be where the Merovingian was from. The Frenchman can modify the Matrix code outside of its rules and parameters. This is how he helps other programs to escape the Matrix and become exiles. He can modify an outdated program's compatibility so that it can survive in the updated version of the Matrix. Now, the Merovingian's power over the Matrix has its limits. He isn't the architect after all, though he has other means of accomplishing what he wants. For example, in exchange for Sati's safe passage to the Matrix, her father Rama made a deal with the Frenchman. He offered him the termination code of the Oracle's outer shell as payment. The Merovingian intended to destroy the Oracle, but as we've discussed in another video, the Oracle runs directly from the source. So even though her body was destroyed, she simply got a new one. So the Merovingian wants to destroy the Oracle. But why? You could think that it was for revenge, since it was the Oracle that sent Neo to steal the Keymaker from him. But you'd be wrong. The Merovingian was threatening the Oracle long before the Keymaker was stolen. When Neo and the others arrived at the restaurant, Ramakantra was being escorted by a henchman, revealing that the deal for Sati's escape and the Oracle's termination code was probably already made. There are many reasons why the Merovingian wishes to destroy the Oracle. The first is that they are both of opposite philosophies. The Oracle talks about choice, how everyone can choose their path.
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
The Merovingian, on the other hand, believes that choice is an illusion created by those in power, that there is only cause and effect.
Everything begins with choice.
No, wrong. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without. There is only one constant, one universal. It is the only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause and effect.
The Merovingian is the Oracle's opposite, her negative. But is this reason enough for him to want to delete her? Is there a more personal reason for his hatred towards the fortune teller? In The Matrix Reloaded, the kid mentions that the Merovingian is an operating system. There's no reason a sun-controlling program should look like a little girl, or an operating system seem to be a Sybaritic French gangster. This has led many to theorize that the Merovingian could be the Oracle's predecessor. They are both traffickers of information, using suites to modify the code of other people. The Merovingian knows about the past and the present, but the Oracle knows about the future. She could have been a better program, designed to replace the Merovingian, which would explain why he hates her and why he wants her eyes. Now you might be thinking that this doesn't make sense. The Oracle is an intuitive program created to understand the human psyche. True, but that doesn't eliminate the possibility that she replaced the Merovingian. Maybe when she introduced the concept of choice into the simulation, the architect gave her the purpose of the Merovingian. So without a purpose, the Frenchman was supposed to return to the source for elimination.
Usually a program chooses exile when it faces deletion.
And why would a program be deleted?
Maybe it breaks down. Maybe a better program is created to replace it. Happens all the time. And when it does, a program can either choose to hide here or return to the source.
The Merovingian hates the concept of choice because it was choice that resulted in him being replaced. Now what about his ultimate goal? The Merovingian could be tired of the existence of the simulation. Maybe he wants to free the humans, which would make him the true leader of the resistance. Now the red pills are the resistance, but what if the revolution against the Matrix comes from programs that do not agree with how humans are being used? What if there are programs that do not want to continue the war and are fighting to help destroy the Matrix? After all, the Frenchman could have been corrupted or influenced by humans and developed empathy for them, thus becoming an enemy of the Oracle and the Architect who fight to maintain the simulation. Maybe the Merovingian did try to warn Neo about following the orders of the fortune teller.
Run back and give the fortune teller this message. Her time is almost up.
In The Matrix Resurrections, the Merovingian said we will see him again in a spin-off, a cute joke that ironically could become reality.
This is not over yet. I will sequel franchise spin-off.
The Frenchman's current state makes us wonder what could have happened to him after Matrix Revolutions that led him to this wondering state. Given the announcement of Matrix 5, the possibilities of what this new installment could be about are endless. But the story of the Merovingian and what happened to him could be one of the most intriguing options. Many of the Matrix programs were purged, but the Merovingian survived using low-frequency portals and hiding within simulations beyond the Matrix. When we see the grand return of the Merovingian, he has lost everything, his status and his power in the Matrix. He has become a true exile, who now looks more like the train man than himself. Yet the Frenchman was the only one who gave us hope for a continuation of this franchise, thanks to his ranting about sequels and spin-offs. Now what are the chances of us getting a spin-off movie centered on the French vagabond? There are several unknowns about the Merovingian, and those unknowns could lead to an excellent movie, beginning with the fact that the Merovingian did confront the anomalies that came before Neo.
Mark my words, boy, and mark them well. I have survived your predecessors, and I will survive you.
A Merovingian origin movie could show us how this exiled program moved from simulation to simulation, learning about the many anomalies, until he eventually meets Neo. The machine's civil war that came after the truce Neo had established with the machines left the Merovingian with nothing, without influence, and without Persephone. What happened to Persephone is one of the biggest unknowns, since she was the reluctant and inseparable companion of the Merovingian. A long time ago, we theorized that the Merovingian could be a main villain in a new Matrix movie. That's because he was the only one who made it clear that everything that happened in the Matrix was cause and effect, and that choices made by humans and programs were of little consequence. The Merovingian could be a great antagonist for the analyst, and maybe another unexpected ally for Neo and the humans. The Merovingian is miserable now. His comfortable lifestyle was destroyed, so he may want things to be as they were before the truce, and the only way to achieve that would be to defeat the analyst and become the next architect. Matrix 5 could be about the fall and the rise of the Merovingian. By the end, the Frenchman returns to his old self and shows everyone why he is one of the most powerful and dangerous programs in the simulation. Also, Lambert Wilson, who played the Merovingian, has mentioned on several occasions that he is still open to returning. There is certainly a lot to discover about what happened to this program. At the top of our list of questions is, what happened to his wife, Persephone, who is believed to have copied part of the anomaly's code when she kissed Neo? We will be revisiting this topic in another video. Now let's say that the Matrix 5 is a spin-off. As the Merovingian mentioned, we believe it could take place in different eras, similar to Cloud Atlas, a plot showing the various simulations in which the Merovingian gained influence, from the days he was a minion of the Architect, to when he became an exile and fought Neo's predecessors, and also finally shows us why he hated the Oracle so much. Did she replace him? The tales of the Merovingian still have a lot to contribute. And even if The Matrix 5 is not a Merovingian spin-off, we will still hold on to hope to one day see it. But do you agree? Will the Merovingian return in Matrix 5? Should the Frenchman have his own spin-off?